Hey guys, this is John, and I'm playing BestiaSalvaje in the 3-minute pool on ICC. How's my Spanish pronunciation? Good? Alright. So we've got a Dutch defense via transposition, e6 followed by f5. Tricky move order. I do like this move order for black. I'm not a Dutch player, haven't played that opening in ages. I used to play the Stonewall when I was younger, but I think that's quite a crafty move order. So let's see what we got here. I'm just going to put my bishop on b2, I think, get it to the long diagonal. This is 3-minute, so faster than usual. I'm playing a tournament this weekend, so I'm just trying to get the creative chess juices flowing, if you will. So okay, I think I'm going to take this. d5 was running into e4, so I think better to just capture. Black did achieve e5, which is a pretty big achievement for him in the Dutch, but the position I think is completely fine. I'm going to put the queen on c1. Again, just trying to take into account the e4 pawn push by black. Okay, so maybe now he has some ideas of attacking on the king side. I fear I'm developing a bit routinely here, but I don't think I'm in any danger yet. Yeah, puts the bishop on e6. That's sensible. I feel like I should probably maneuver my knight. This maybe introduces bishop takes c6 as an idea. I probably don't want to part with my light square bishop, given that it is the only defender of my king right now, but I'll keep it in mind for the future. Right now, I'm just going to put the knight on c4, maybe put pressure on e5. If black puts a rook on d8, there could be some swaps down the file. If I put the knight on c4, that is blocking my queen's defense of the c5 pawn, but I don't really see how black takes advantage of that. So, all right, so he's going to go for it here. So if I take on f6, rook takes, he's going to swing the rook over. So I think I should play knight e4, but yeah, I don't know about that because f3 is coming. f3 is going to stuff my bishop. All right, let's start with the capture. And now, bishop f3 maybe? Just see where his queen goes. Yeah, let's try it. 3-minute game, so just got to go with your first instinct or second instinct at the very least. So, okay, check on c4. Now let's take first. Now I might take and then play knight e4, I'm thinking. Let's do that. Try to keep the tempo going here. And my idea then is if rook takes, knight e4, rook h6, queen takes f4. No, he takes there. Interesting. Was not expecting that move. I mean, it may be good, but I'm not going to calculate anything involving moving the bishop just because that looks scary around my king. Although perhaps I could have put my king on h1 if he does some sort of discovery, but a minute and 20, just trying to be practical. I see that I can give him some structural damage here, so let's go for that. I can play queen c4 check and take it to the endgame. My favorite thing in the world, a queen trade, right? Well, okay, my favorite thing in the world is the Scandinavian and Team Scandi, of course, but a queen trade is a close second. So let's put the rook on the 7th rank, attack this pawn, pre-move this guy. Looks to me, wow, okay, so he's playing for max activity here. Well, I'm definitely going to take this. He's probably going to go knight d4. And he has some ideas with knight f3 check. However, I definitely think I should take here and try to escape with my king. Okay, granted he's going to win h2 with check, but my king is scooting over to the queen side. And I got to believe that my c-pawn is just going to be decisive in the end. Okay, maybe b4 now. Yeah, let's just push this. Get that protected. He is guarding against c6 for the moment. Look how the f and the h pawns are disconnected. They're both isolated, so I have no fear of anything happening there. Let's put the knight on d6. Okay, it could be a little tricky to advance these pawns. I almost just want to let him take here. Yeah, let's do this. So if he takes, I'm going to play b5 is my idea. Just get those pawns connected. When it comes to pushing pawns, especially in an endgame, oh, I say that right as I drop a key pawn. I was going to say that quality matters over quantity. But I just dropped my c5 pawn, so I probably shouldn't be talking especially with 33 seconds on my clock. Ah, but maybe there was some tactic that I was missing right there. Okay. Probably check first. Knight f5. Can also play c6. Now let's just go here. I really got to hustle here. Do this. The c-pawn is still a huge asset, but gotta hurry. c6 coming, hopefully. Yeah, okay. Knight d6 probably next. Attack the rook. Rook c5, I'm thinking rook b7 followed by c7. Knight takes f5 also coming with check. Let's just trade the knights. That looks simple. Simple and good. Okay, next I'm going to play... Actually, I'm going to do this and then put the rook on c6. A little interference right there. Yeah, and that's going to take care of business. In fact, I can just pre-move that. If he checks on f3, king e4. He has to bring his rook back. We'll queen. And that's checkmate right there. All right, so I wonder why he didn't take on c5. There must have been a rook b8 check followed by knight f5, something like that with a fork. If so, that was very lucky by me. Yeah, and that is the case. So at this moment, knight b3 check looks like it wins a pawn due to my carelessness. But king e2, knight takes c5, rook b8 check. The king can't go to f7, that's covered by my knight. So you'd have to play king g7, and then I have knight f5 check with the fork. Hopefully everyone can visualize that. So yeah, I was fortunate there. I think black got a bit too aggressive on the king side. Maybe the f4 push was premature, or if not the f4 push, probably bishop g4. I mean, I would have been more concerned about queen h3, I think. In which case I could repeat and go back bishop g2, but I don't know. Something about these trades makes me think that white is getting off the hook a bit. I'm able to trade down and maybe claim a slight advantage in the endgame. This was an interesting moment. You know, I'm not going to analyze these 3-minute games in detail, but here he was daring me to save my bishop, whereupon he has all these discoveries. Let me just throw the engine on here for a minute. Okay, so the engine says taking is correct. It just looks scary, you know, if the bishop moves, allowing g takes f2 or g takes h2. Okay, so not stopping to analyze these. Let's get right back in the pool. So, like I said, I'm playing a tournament this weekend. It's a 6-round tournament. It is the Minnesota Open. Happens once every year. It is not our state championship. The state championship is the Minnesota Closed. However, 4 players, I believe it's 4, qualify from the Minnesota Open each year to play the Minnesota Closed. So that's my goal for this weekend. You know, I want to win the tournament, of course, but I want to get top 4 for sure. So I make sure I qualify for this round robin tournament, which will decide the Minnesota State champion, which right now is International Master Sean Nagel. Many of you may know him because I've talked about him in my videos. He's also a teammate of mine in the Pro Chess League for the Minnesota Blizzard. We missed the playoffs, unfortunately, in the Pro Chess League this year. Just got word about that, but it's been a fun season nonetheless. Oh, wow, and we're playing KingsCrusher. Hello to KingsCrusher. Just going to tell him, oh, he doesn't receive tells while playing. Okay. All right, well, this will be interesting. So let's play KC. Shout out to KC. He's a good dude. I met him in England, in London, in December. And he's quite a good blitz player. So let's see what I can do against him. He is sacrificing a pawn, Simon Williams style. Okay, let's put the bishop on e7. And he breaks with d5 just immediately. Wow. Okay, I think I'm going to take this way and then take here. I know he can win b5, but I feel like my knight on d5 is so stable I should just do this and then castle. Yeah, this is looking good. So if you don't know who KingsCrusher is, then you probably haven't been watching internet chess videos for a while because he's one of the originals. He has a massive channel. I don't know how many videos he's made at this point in his YouTube career, probably easily over 5,000, I'd imagine. And he has an aggressive brand of chess. He loves to attack. I think I have one video from quite a while ago where we played a bullet match on Lee chess, which was fun. But other than that, I haven't really faced him much recently. Okay, so queen h5, this kind of seems like a shot in the dark. I mean, maybe he could try to get his bishop to e4 and apply pressure to my king side, but I think bishop f6 is just a good move, attacking the knight. I always have g6 if necessary. Okay, so he pulls that back. I feel like maybe he's going for knight g5. I want to play c3 right here, and I think I will. Let's do it. Try to get at that rook on a1. If he takes, that'll be interesting because, yeah, I think I can take with the bishop. I see no problem with that. Fork these 2 rooks. If knight g5, I have knight back to f6. Important move. So that looks good. I can even play knight f6 here if I want. Also f6 looks completely fine. Let's go f6. Then we cover g5. He's got multiple pieces hanging here. Both rooks. Whoa, what is that move? Well, let's start by taking this guy. Now I can take, he takes the knight. Knight f6 is going to cover a lot of stuff. Yeah. Just taking a minute to reassess. Knight f6 looks good. Hit the queen, guard against mate. Let's take here. And now check should do the trick. Yeah, check. Fork on the king and the knight. That's just way too much material. Yeah, so he resigned. Let's just tell him, hello, Trifon. Or Triffin. I think it's Triffin. So in this one, I think the d5 push by Triffin was premature. Pushing d5. I know he wants to create maximum tension in the center. He is down a pawn, so he's trying to get things going. But I think after this series of captures, if he's not able to open the e file towards my king, black has got to be safe. I don't really care about the b5 pawn. I'm still up a pawn here, and most importantly, my king is secure, castling short. So I think he was looking for e takes d5, and then after e takes d5, maybe apply some pressure to the bishop on e7, queen e2 coming or something. But the way I played it seems to take care of business. So, okay, nice to run into a fellow YouTuber. However, check out his channel if you haven't already. So back to this tournament I was talking about. So yeah, trying to get top 4 in that event. The schedule is intense. And if you're a European chess player, especially a tournament player, you're going to be cringing at this schedule. So it's 1 round today. Today's Friday. There's 1 round tonight starting at 7 o'clock p.m. There's 3 rounds on Saturday. And then there's 2 rounds on Sunday. And the games are not short either. They're the standard FIDE game in 90 with a 30-second increment time control. That's utterly standard these days as far as tournament chess goes. So 90 minutes per side with an increment. I mean, you can have 3-hour plus games with that 30-second increment in particular. So Saturday could be painful. Tomorrow could be a painful day if you have multiple games that are going the distance. I mean, potentially that's 9 hours of chess in a day, right? That's pretty crazy. So I'm not a big fan of the format this year, but I played in a ton of Minnesota Opens. I actually couldn't play last year. I was pretty busy and had to miss the event, which was a bummer, but I played a ton of Minnesota Opens, so I always look forward to playing every year. Good tournament to see people that you just haven't encountered for a while. I should have played Queen C2, which is my recommendation on Chessable. I just forgot to do that. Okay, so I think I'm going to play Knight GE2. I'm improvising now. It's not good to give black bishop f5. That's generally a no-no. All right, let's take and then play Knight G3. Attack that bishop. See if we can get it to go back to G6. And then I'm thinking of throwing Harry down the board. Yeah, let's play H4. Just see how black reacts to that. And my thinking here is that maybe I just play bishop D3 now, and black has slightly weakened their king side. So if we get a trade of the bishops, maybe I can use the H5 square. I don't know. It's just a thought. Okay, take, knight takes. Let's take. Let's see how he recaptures. He might take with the queen, too. Because knight takes does allow knight f5, potentially. Only problem is now, if I castle kingside, my pawn on h4 looks awkward. Wow, and he takes with the pawn. I was not expecting that. So queen g4, he has knight f6. h5. Yeah, let's go h5. Probably throw that pawn down the board is good. And again, I'm trying to use the f5 square later. Maybe play queen d3 now. Yeah, let's do that. Still curious which way he's going to castle. I would bet kingside. I bet he tries to use the file. Yep, and there he goes. All right, I'm going to go kingside too. Just again, I kind of wish this pawn were back on h2 now. I'm having some buyer's remorse about going all in on this h-pawn push plan. Because now, I think it remains to be seen whether my knight on g3 is good or not. Okay, so a standard plan here is the minority attack with b4. I'm thinking about doing it immediately, because if he takes, I have rook b1, and I can try to win b7. So let's push. I got to get some counterplay going, and I don't think the center or the king side is going to be my source of counterplay. A lot of pressure going against f2, but no tactics, so let's keep pushing. No tactics yet. And if he plays knight f6, I do have to worry about knight g4. I might need to reorganize somehow, maybe pull a piece back. Goes c5. All right, let's take. So he's probably going to take with the knight. Queen d4. Yeah, okay. Let's play that. If knight e6, I might take on a7. So yeah, he declines to get involved with that. Now, let's get all hands on deck, attacking the d-pawn. If knight e6, queen back to d2. Just got to be aware of this f2 point. That's a sensitive point in my position right now. Oh yeah, another guy who's playing the tournament, you might know him, is Penguin GM1, aka International Master Andrew Tang. Former student of mine, strong player, international master with, I believe, 2 GM norms. So he'll also be playing this weekend. All right, knight here. That leaves b5 loose, so let's do this. Doing all right on time. I wish I could play a little bit faster, though. Next, I think I'll either play rook c1 or knight d4. Probably knight d4. I think that's the best way forward. I do like the fact that this knight on e7 has a hard time doing anything. He might be best off playing knight f5. Yeah, just as I said that. Rook c1. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, so now I feel like there's not as much pressure on f2. If queen d6, I have rook c6 with tempo. That's got to be helpful to some degree. Queen e5, I can even take and play knight d4. Further simplify. Knight d4 immediately also is possible. Let's do that. Looks better. We'll play this major piece position. I like my control of the c-file. Although, again, f2 is still a little tender. Here I can play e4. e4 rook here. Not sure what's going on in that position. I'm going to try it. And what I'm going to do is play rook over to d1 after that. So if he takes on e4, that could be intriguing because we can get 2 rooks against the queen. Rook takes, queen takes, pawn takes, rook takes d8, check. I mean, h5 is kind of loose, but... that move I didn't see. I overlooked that one. Well, let's go attack this guy. I'm all pinned up now. All right, I'm going to play f3. g4 maybe? I'm thinking queen e5 if he does that. Attack the rook. He can just take. He can just take here. Okay, well, I got a little lucky there, but I think my position is still somewhat bad. All right, I got to try to trade queens. Because rook f6. Yikes. This is not good. This is not good at all. I'm trying to trade. Attempting to trade right now, but man, yeah, my king safety is pretty much shot here. Time is getting low. See if he'll take. He does. All right, we're swapping down. Maybe the a-pawn will be weak. Maybe I can go take this guy. I can. Okay, well, this is interesting now, all of a sudden. This is interesting. I feel like I have a slight edge here. Okay, he flagged. That was fortunate of me that I survived that attack against my king. In retrospect, I'm questioning knight d4. Don't think that was a good move. Maybe I should have played rook takes e6, queen takes e6, then knight d4, fork the queen and the rook, and take on f5 next and just try to hammer that d-pawn because the trade of one set of major pieces should help me secure my king. Like I said, I regretted that h-pawn push, though. I don't know. In this position, it looked enticing, but I don't think the net result was in my favor. I thought right around here I had a good position, however. I mean, this is the moment where I was questioning my decision in retrospect to play knight d4. Let's just take a quick peek. Rook fc1. Okay, so knight d4 itself shouldn't be that bad, though. Here I should continue pushing on the queen side. a5. Didn't really cross my mind. What did I play? This is where I played e4, right? Yeah, and that forfeits all of my advantage, if there was one. Rook c7, queen g6. f3 was also a bad move. f3 gave black a hook to play g4, something to latch onto, attack on the king side. And you can see that eval. The computer thinks black is on the verge of winning there. Now, I bet that he had a win somewhere right around here. I mean, in this position, simply f takes g2 looks overwhelming. f2 is also winning somehow, though, too, huh? King h8, getting the king out of potential attacks on this diagonal and pins and such. Okay. And here I could have played rook takes f2. Didn't see that move. Yeah, even here he's winning. Rook takes e5. Yeah, and I thought at the very end I was somewhat better because it's even pawns, but he can never step to the 6th rank with his king because at the moment he does that, I'm going to play a5. And his b pawn will be pinned. But time is the bigger factor at this point by far. Maybe the final position is just a draw or even difficult for me in view of g4, but yeah, he ran out. 3 minutes is brutal, guys. Okay, let's play a couple more games. What else is new in my world? Just been busy. Haven't had much time to record in the past month. Glad you guys enjoyed those Battersea Chess Club games. Those seem to have been pretty popular. The showdown with Simon Williams in particular. That was a really fun tournament to play. If you haven't checked out those videos, I recommend going and watching them. I also uploaded all the games from that tournament. Let's play e4 in this game to leechess.org. So in the description to each of those videos, there's a link to the game. All right, so we're playing an open Sicilian. Ulko-CA from Russia, the international master. Let's play c4. I recently faced this from the black side in a tournament game. I played bishop b4 in that game. Okay, he's going to play the standard hedgehog formation. Let's see what I can do with the white pieces against this hedgehog. Because personally, I think this is a little unpleasant for black, this plan of going a5 and trying to weaken their queen side. If takes, the idea is knight back to b3, going over to a5 to take that pawn. And I found this out the hard way, playing from the black side in this line. You can get into some pretty nasty positions out of this. I don't think white is yet winning or anything, but black has to exercise care. Okay, so how do I make progress from here? I could play b4 and maybe go for b5. That's probably the most direct. If b4 rook takes, I have knight b5. I don't know about that yet, though. Let's go. I gotta give the d5 push some respect, though. Okay, let's play this to start. This telegraphs my intentions. Like, there's no reason for me to play rook fb1 if I'm not going to play b4. Yeah, I think he's going to play for d5. All right, well, let's see what happens. He might do it immediately. He might play knight b6 first. If he does it immediately, it's a temporary pawn sacrifice. So let's take here. Now I can take with the knight or the pawn. Don't think I want to play bishop f4. So a6 is loose, but I don't think I should take a timeout to take that pawn. All right, let's take this way. If I took with the knight, I was afraid he was going to take and put the other knight on f6, attacking d5. So this is an utterly standard break for black. There's bishop takes b4 here. I didn't even see that move. Okay, this will be interesting now. Because you see what happens is white's position gets so loose. It's really the only way to describe it. F4. I guess I'll play f4. Block the bishop. Bishop takes a6 now, maybe. There's still this issue with this pawn hanging on b4. Maybe bishop f3. Let's go bishop f3. Rook takes e3 is not going to kill me yet, is it? Ooh, maybe so. He's going for the dark square compensation galore. All right, all right. Yeah, can't blame you for that. That actually does look pretty good. Oh, man, my time is not good either. If I go there, he has knight e5. That doesn't look nice. All right, I'm going to do something to try to shake things up here. I know he has bishop e5, but I'm thinking queen to c4 and just attempt to trade down. Even if I lose the knight, I can win a6 at the end, and maybe there's hope. This is a decision born out of pure desperation. I gotta change the character of the game because it's not going in my favor right now. Probably just takes on d5. Yep. Okay, let's take. Let's push now. So I'm banking heavily on my b pawn, but material-wise, I'm not doing well. That should be pretty clear. Let's go here. Yeah, that's a secure move right there. Try to harass his bishop. I'm looking for back rank stuff like bishop somewhere, rook takes b6, but who knows if that will materialize? Probably not. It's hard when there's not that many tactics in the position. He's going to see that rook takes b6 is a problem. I think he's going to put his bishop somewhere on this diagonal. Move it back to f8 maybe. Then he's covering against mate. I'm going to try to come into b6 after that, but it actually could be significantly difficult to move my b pawn up the board. Okay, time is getting a little closer. We need a Scandi swindle right here, guys. I don't think anything else is going to do. Just keep harassing this bishop. Okay, I'm going to continue this policy. Bishop e5, yeah. All right, let's go here. Now you can play f6. Yep. Okay, let's get the king over slightly. This doesn't help at all, but what can you do? I'm going to put this behind the pawn. Don't know what that does, but I played it. Okay, now his king is looking very safe, and I lose the b5 pawn. Oh. Okay. Yeah, that had disaster written all over it once he got in d5. Okay, so I think I learned something from Black's treatment of this position. So he played rook b8 in order to give the bishop a retreat square back to a8. And then he just ruthlessly went for d5. I have a feeling my plan of playing rook fb1 and b4 was just straight up bad. In retrospect, I would not do that. I would probably play more so in the center. But then again, if I have to play to stop d5, I know my queenside situation is looking kind of nice, but I feel like the b pawn has to move up the board. Maybe white's just not even that much better here. Computer says somewhat of an advantage. Yeah, 3/4 pawn, but d5 was well timed by Black. You see how hard that position was to play, even though I was up material? This demonstrates how loose White's setup gets. You just have all these pawn weaknesses. Your king is open. Black's king is very safe. Bishop takes b4 was good for him here. But even the way he played it, yeah, taking on e3. I guess tactically it works out extremely well. I have trouble figuring out a place to put my queen here. If queen d3, he has knight e5 with tempo. Or maybe take on h2 first, then knight e5. I was stirring up a little trouble here, but objectively I should be lost. My only trick was the rook takes b6 thing if his bishop goes somewhere other than protecting the knight. But yeah, like now, even though he put the bishop on a different diagonal, I don't have rook takes b6 because my rook is not aimed at his king. Okay, that's a game I got to study. I got to go back and look at that at some point. Let's play one or two more games. I was so close to 2,400 because we attach such significance to our online ratings, right? That was sarcasm, by the way. Don't really worry about your ratings, especially online. Worry about the quality of your moves and how you're playing. And I know that's easier for higher rated players to say. I know when I was coming through the ranks, I was always worried about my rating and always kind of considering what it was. But it really is true that, I mean, if you want to glean the most from your chess improvement and the games that you play, you have to shut yourself off from the rating. You got to divorce your emotions from that because it's just a number at the end of the day. It's just a number that signifies how you're playing at any given moment. Doesn't mean anything as far as the position you have on the board or the moves that you're considering. Really, the only time it has meaning is when you give it meaning. For instance, many of you can probably relate to this, but there are times in chess where you'll play a move against a higher rated player that you would not play against a lower rated player, and vice versa. Let's say that a higher rated player offers you a pawn, And it looks a little risky to take it. You're not quite sure if he blundered or not, but you don't want to risk it, so you don't take it. That's like deferring to your opponent's rating. If you were a lower rated player, you might just say, oh, there looks like there's nothing wrong with taking this pawn. Good chance my opponent just blundered it, so let's just take it. All right, so I'm playing International Master Platyborg, who I think is a Grandmaster now. This is quite a good player. Alan Pichot. Yeah. So this is the main line of the Queen D8 Scandinavian. I have a repertoire on this on Chessable. I also had this line from the black side in a game from the Pro Chess League against Grandmaster Setharaman from the Odisha Express is the name of their team. They're from India. And I managed to win that game. It's a very interesting game. And I got the victory. You can check that out in my chess.com archive if you're really curious. Okay, so this is a standard idea for black that I'm executing, getting the queen up here, offering a trade. Now after it takes, I can take either way. I think c-pawn takes is a bit more standard. You're taking towards the center and you're keeping two center pawns. But let's see how this plays out. I mean, I might take with the e-pawn just for variety's sake. But now I think I will take with the c-pawn. And because of the threat on a2, he really didn't have much of a choice there as far as the queen trade goes. Rook b3. Interesting. Okay, so or rook d3, rather. He's going to try to swing it to b3, I think. Okay. All right, I'm going to put the bishop on d6. I think he's still going to play rook b3 and try to force a slight weakness in my position. Yeah, I got to go b6 now. Yeah, that's kind of a cool way to play that position. Knight d7. But then I might have some trouble castling in the future. I don't know. Okay, let's just put the king on e7. He can check me on g5 and try to get me to play f6, though, is my only misgiving about this. All right, let's get the knight out. So white does possess the bishop pair. That's a long-term asset for him. Let's get this guy over. So contest any c4 break. Now I think white's rook is looking ineffective on b3, so I like where this is going, at least for now. Then again, my knight is not so great here. Let's maneuver. Maybe try to put the knight on c6. Okay, let's do that. See if we can get him to take. I am attacking the d4 pawn. He's going to go ahead and play that. Okay. Let's bring this guy over. He's playing for a small edge. I mean, it's really not much, but it is something. Let's get this up, attack this pawn. Okay, now I feel like the A file is going to be important, so let's do this. His rook is actually pretty poorly placed there, isn't it? How's he going to get that out? Okay, let's do this. If I play b5 soon, that rook is completely trapped. Yeah, b5. How's he going to get that back in the action? I mean, he might have to play c4. Okay, let's do this. This is looking awesome. Now I feel like I can almost just break through on the king side somewhere. Because he might have to play that c4 move. Okay, I'm going to do this. I know this is kind of... I just let him out. That was really bad of me. Yeah, did not realize that I would be letting him out laterally there. Whoops. Okay, well, let's go here. Now I've got two ISOs right here. Isolated pawns. Let's penetrate with the rook. Let's go here. Can I trap that rook in any way? It doesn't look like it. Let's give it a check. I want to get bishop e5 in. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, we'll go here, try to get the king on e6. He can't go to h8, that's important. That's helpful. Let's go here. This king can chase me now. Yeah, that was not a good idea. Now you can just play rook a5. I'm blowing this position, guys. There's just nothing to attack. Completely blew that beautiful position. Yeah, this is looking very bad. Okay, I can get the king up to e4 now. There's some life. I'm on the respirator, but there's some life. Okay, let's do this. Don't know what this achieves, but I have 5 seconds left too, don't I? Not good. Oh, he's pinned. He thought he had bishop c3 right there. Okay, I might be able to draw this. All I got to do is go win his pawn. Oh, no. Oh, he blocked. He kept his pawn. That was funny. So, story from that game is that e5 was a terrible move. That was an awful move. So my thinking here was his rook is complete. Actually, it's a bad move for multiple reasons. My thinking is that his rook is completely trapped on b3. He can't go to a3. He can't go to b4. So I wanted to break through, just ignore the queen side because his rook is trapped. I can just maintain the status quo. Ignore the queen side and play in the center and on the king side. But I got excited about the break possibility with e5. I thought, oh, okay, even though I take on an isolated d-pawn, let's do it. But that move should have been prepared if I'm going to play it at all. So probably f6 and then e5. I mean, probably if I play calmly here, he'll have to play c4 at some point just to give his rook somewhere to go on the third rank. But yeah, so the engine gives black a clear advantage. f6, yep, prepare e5. I have a feeling that advantage is even greater than what the computer's indicating, because sometimes computers do have problems with these type of positions where there's a piece that can't be won yet, but it's so trapped in and ineffective that its value is completely negated. So yeah, this was just an awful move. Gives rook b4. Also, it even allows rook a3 if white decided to play that move. And then white's definitely in the game. But overall, out of the opening, I was pretty happy with it. Haven't seen that rook d3 move before, but it doesn't look like black is experiencing too many problems. Okay, let's play one more game, and then I'm going to call it a session. Those 2 losses hurt. Platyborg, he's tough at 2284. Definitely underrated at that rating. I think I want to say he's FIDE 2550 or so. He's a grandmaster. He's not an IM. This position was very difficult to play, by the way. You see how he was able to guard f2 and c3 at virtually all times. Okay, let's play d4 against Brunico. IM. This is going to be my last game. Win, lose, or draw. Another triangle. All right, well, let's play this variation this time. I'm going to play the cop-out knight c3, which I have played before. What do I do here? Is it knight f3 or I think it's a3. Yeah, a3. And then black can play bishop a5 or take on c3. Either move is acceptable. I had a game against... what's his name? I should know his name because I even did an interview with him. The winner of the London Chess Classic last year. Who is that? I can picture him perfectly, but for the life of me, I can't remember his name right now. Young Dutch Grandmaster. Very nice guy. And he beat me on the black side of this setup in London in 2015. His name will come to me, I promise. Probably you guys are already typing it in the chat right now. Bach. Benjamin Bach. That's it. Yeah, so I had this position against, or not this position, but this opening against Bach. Okay, here I think I'm going to play bishop g5. Just to see where he puts this knight. Or if he moves it at all. So these positions are somewhat reminiscent of a Nimzo Indian. Definitely white has some pawn structure damage going on, but black has to be careful. Okay, d5 is very tempting, but I think I'm just going to play rook e1. e5, can I do that? Let's pull the bishop here, because I think there might be some bishop takes h7 issues in the future. I don't think it even works yet, but I can try to get it going soon. Yeah, because if take, check, he has knight f6 at the very end is the problem. Well, okay, I can play this move, and then play d5 next. I think is probably a good plan. Yeah, d5 now. This has got to be the right move. He takes. Okay, let's take this. Oh, I want to sack so bad. Just not sure it works. What about the sack and then rook e7? What about that? Let's not think too much and just lose on time, but take rook e7 or knight g5 and then rook e7. It's real interesting. Nah, I don't think it quite works. Don't think it quite works. I'm going to pull this back. I don't want to trade the light square bishops. Okay, let's do this. He'll probably take here. Nope. Wrong again, John. All right, let's do that. These are the type of games that kill me. I've got all these cool tactical ideas, but I have no time to figure them out. It's hard. You gotta adjust to that. What to do? Queen d3. Queen d3 does not look right. All right, I'm just gonna play this for lack of a better move. Pull this back. Something has clearly gone wrong here, though. Bishop a4 is possible. All right, let's take first. See what he does. And then we're going to go here. b5, I'm going to play bishop b3, I think. Maybe threaten to take on c4. I had such high hopes for my light square bishop. They've all been dashed. Okay, at least bishop takes c4 is an annoying threat. Here, knight e5 looks good, right? Knight e5. It's going to require him to sacrifice. Don't think he wants to let me get at f7. Gotta watch this diagonal. There's a possibility he'll switch the bishop back to b7 and threaten mate, so I might have to play f3 coming up. Here I have bishop d5, in between move. All right, so now I should be winning, no doubt about it. Let's go attack f7. Let's go here. Knight c4, but I guess I have queen e7. I want to go rook d1 next move. Let's go here. Time pressure. Big time pressure for both sides. Okay, take. B takes my queen. I have d takes, importantly. I guess even bishop takes would suffice, so. All right, so he resigned. So analytically, and if I were intent on analyzing this game thoroughly, I think the position I would focus on, or positions, are right around here after the knight goes to d7. It feels like I have such a potent attacking setup, but I couldn't figure out the way through. I played rook e1 and then bishop back. Bishop takes h7, the Greek gift sacrifice is dying to be played, but king takes knight g5, king back to g8, let's say. Queen h5 runs into knight f6. And black attacks the queen and covers h7. So I really feel like the computer's going to say I'm much better, but there may not be an immediate win. d5, I think that's what I played bishop g3. Okay, so d5. d5 is very strong though, huh? I see why d5 is so strong. So if d5, I know I'm not making the moves, but Hopefully you guys can still visualize this. D5, E takes D5, C takes D5. If bishop takes D3, I have D takes C6 in between move. And then black's knight on D7 and the bishop on D3 are both hanging. That's important. Whereas when I played bishop G3 and black went queen B7, now black was defending the bishop on A6. So that D5 move is less deadly. So I suppose on D5, black can't take then. Yeah, because D5, E takes D5, C takes D5. Black just seems to lose material. So D5, black would have to move the knight, but then I get at E6. That's terrible. Okay, so that was my moment to play D5, not on the next move. Yeah, that makes perfect sense because bishop G3 really doesn't help me. I'm pushing the black queen to a position where it defends the bishop. I've already established that bishop takes H7 is not going to work, so this, in effect, just helped black. Still a good position, though. Knight G5, go at the king. Rook E7. Yeah, why didn't I play Rook E7 here? You know, I was thinking of Rook E7 after bishop takes, king takes, Knight G5 check. Things along those lines, but I don't know why I didn't play Rook E7 right here. I played bishop C2, and now black is covering the E file. That last sequence was a net gain for black. And now the position is messy. Black has secured his king. He's got his pieces coordinated. I still have the D-pawn, but I would take black here if I had to choose, and especially with the time situation. I think black was up a bit of time as well. So he definitely erred, yeah, with that move. Knight back to A5 was a big mistake, allowing knight E5. So knight E4, that hits my bishop and also attacks the C3 pawn. Then the game will continue. And now I think black should take on E5, sacrifice right away, and then play maybe knight takes B3 or bishop B7, I was thinking. Bishop B7 is the top move of the computer. Yeah, and this should be winning. Bishop takes G7, huh? It's not a tactic I would really think about in a fast game. I don't actually see why that works. Bishop takes, king takes, check. And then black's king side is too weak according to the engine. But yeah, as played, looks like I've got everything under control. I think bishop H4 is a nice move. So trying to get rid of the defender of the queen on D7. So black can't move the knight. Black's just overloaded here. Yeah, it's winning. Okay, so let's tabulate the results. Quick little session, 3-minute session, but hope you guys enjoyed it. So I had 1, 2, 3, 4 wins and 2 losses. And we got to play KingsCrusher as well. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I don't know if I'll be analyzing my games from the Minnesota Open. We'll see. Like I said, I've just been really busy lately, so I'm just trying to post videos whenever I can. But hope everyone is well. Thanks again for watching, as always. And hope everyone has a good weekend. Talk to you guys later. Bye.